evening, friends. This is David Warren, and I welcome you to another installment of The Unknown Presidents. Today's president will be our 19th president, Rutherford B. Hayes, who served from 1877 to 1881. To tell us the story of Rutherford B. Hayes, I'll turn the program over to Captain Magoo Longstreet. Captain, tell us about President Hayes.
Chief. Well, me friends, Rutherford B. Hayes, he was a totally honest man, a very good man indeed. He was born in Delaware, Ohio, and he was quite, as he grew up into a young man, he was quite a social individual. He liked the ladies, and he enjoyed his freedom as a bachelor. But soon all that was about to change.
And in 1847, Rutherford met a lady that would change his life forever. Young, sweet, innocent Lucy Webb, who was 16 years of age. Rutherford said she was a bright, sunny-hearted little girl, not quite old enough to fall in love with. Well, he'd change his mind soon enough. After catting about a bit and getting his heart broken, he suddenly saw that Lucy was a beautiful young lady, and she had come of age. And so they married on December 30th of 1852.
Rutherford was a very happy man with his new bride Lucy, and they settled down to begin a family, and it was his intention to simply be a family man and live out his life in a happy manner. But then the war came.
But then the war came in 1861, and his family life cut short. Rutherford joined up with the boys in blue and rose to the rank of Major General. He was wounded 5 different times, and he kept coming back. A brave man indeed. One of the men under his command was a young lieutenant named William McKinley, who was destined to become our 25th president.
Rutherford, being in politics, he rolls up through the ranks and threw his hat in the ring to run for president in the year 1876. Promising to bring an end to the corruption of the 8 years of Ulysses S. Grant. Within on election day, he was running against a man named Samuel J. Tilden. Well, it was a very strange election. When the votes were counted, there were 4 states in question: South Carolina, Oregon, Louisiana, and Florida. It seems that each of those states sent in 2 sets of returns, one favoring Hayes and one favoring Tilden. What to do? What to do? Well, you know, Tilden needed only one of those votes to put him over the top, whereas Hayes needed all 20. So it was decided that a commission would be getting together, made up of 8 Democrats, 8 Republicans, and 1 independent, a total of 15, to count out the votes and try to sort out this whole mess. And it wasn't sorted out until just very shortly before Inauguration Day. And after a little wheeling and dealing, it was decided that all 20 of the electoral votes would be granted to Rutherford B. Hayes, thereby making him the 19th President of the United States.
Hayes won by 1 electoral vote.
Hayes promised from the very beginning that he would only be a one-term president, and that he would to be totally free of any political whatnot, and to work for the good of the people. It was President Hayes who officially ended Reconstruction in the South and withdrew all remaining federal troops from the South.
When Hayes took office, he totally banned all alcohol from the White House. At the urging of his wife, Lucy Hayes, and because there was no alcohol served in the White House during his 4 years in office, his First Lady became known affectionately as Lemonade Lucy.
Rutherford B. Hayes also was the president who put the first telephone in the White House. And I believe he even spoke to Alexander Graham Bell himself in one of the first communications by telephone. Like I say, Hayes was an honest, upright man, and he decided not to run for re-election. In fact, in March of 1880, as his last year in office was coming up to a close, he said he felt as giddy as a schoolboy about to disembark from school on vacation. Well, Hayes and his wife, Lucy, they retired to their home of Spiegel Grove, and there they lived on for a number of years after leaving office. In 1889, Lucy took sick and suffered a stroke, and at the still quite young age of 57, there Lucy died, leaving Rutherford, the former president, in utter heartbreak. However, former President Hayes lived on a few years and then followed Lucy to the grave in 1893.
Shortly after New Year's of 1893, Hayes and members of his family took a sleigh ride in the cold snow out to Lucy's grave to pay his dear late wife a visit. Upon returning from the sleigh ride, his condition began to slowly worsen. During the third week of January of 1893, the former president took to bed, a very sick man. But he said he had always wanted to die well and at the right time, and felt that his time had come. And yet, he said, I am not unhappy. My life has been an exceptionally happy one. Later on, he spoke his last words to his doctor. He said, I know that I am going where Lucy is. Later that evening, on January the 17th, 1893, at 11 p.m., with only a nurse present, former President Rutherford B. Hayes suddenly died.
And that, my friends, is the story of our 19th president, Rutherford B. Hayes. Thank you very much, Captain. Well, there you have it, friends. The story of Rutherford B. Hayes, in a nutshell. We'll return later in the week with another unknown president. Until then, this is David Warren. Back to you, Wolf.